A very warm welcome to People's Voice. My name is Sonam again, and concerns of youth is the topic for tonight's discussion. And we have invited 4 guest speakers who are all youth, and they have just finished a university degree and they are still looking for a job. And let me introduce them. Mr. Druxel is the first person who will be speaking about the concerns of youth, and then right next to him is Gelenamge, who took part in Dzongkha session as well. And I have Sonam Chuden and Jigme. Thank you very much for joining for this program. And I'm joined by a few youth besides me, and also Mr. Mrs. Janet Scottfield, who is right next to me, and Mr. Douglas Scottfield, who are the advisors for the Royal College and RTC, Royal Timpo College. Thank you very much for joining us. Let me straight away begin with Mr. Duxel. What are the concerns of youth in Bhutan right now?
First of all, thank you so much for inviting me here today. It's an honor to be here. And also to clarify, I am not a graduate yet.
Right,
I'm still going to school. I still have 1 semester left before I graduate with my bachelor's degree. As far as my experience, the biggest concern for the youth today is obviously unemployment. It seems like the number of graduates every year is increasing, whereas there's still that the mismatch between the skill sets that they develop and what the job market is demanding right now. So unemployment would be the biggest issue, but then there is also the rampant, unfortunate tragic events that's been happening, the suicides that's been taking place lately. So as a youth and as a Bhutanese, it is one of the concerns that I've been having lately.
All right. I wouldn't be able to ask Mr. Gelenamge to speak what are his concerns because he already spoke in Dzongkha session. So let me straight away go to Sonam Chuden. What are the youth concerns in Bhutan?
First of all, a very good evening to Bhutan, and thank you for the opportunity as well. Right. According to me, if I was to pinpoint a talk few about the issues that we are facing today, without no doubt what my friend said, Druxel just said, I think unemployment is number 1 problem that the youths are facing. On the second hand, I think to supplement on him, it's not only about the scarcity of the job, it's also about the mismatch in your course and the job that you are being offered. Right. It is also sometimes mismatch about the interest that you have and the degree that you have. So that is there. And then another thing I would say is the challenge that we're facing is about, I think, Dzongkha. I think only at this age, maybe when we were in school, we did not give much importance to Dzongkha and we did not know that how important it is. But today, as we face the market, we are knowing the essence, the value and the importance of Dzongkha. And now at this time, maybe we are ready to make it better, work on it, but I see less opportunities to do that. On the third, I'll go with Druxel again, the suicide cases. It's a very unfortunate event. It's a very sad thing that Bhutan's suicide rate is, I think, really rapidly growing higher. And that's the biggest issue I have. I also have an worry about the culture influences, because what I see today is youths are very outward. Even the kids are very outward, not just the youths, the grown-up youths. So what I see is there's this culture influence that we have. But I think that is also being improving, because on the other hand, we also have students who are more interested in Dzongkha now, who are more interested in our own culture now, but also the influence as well.
All right. What about Mr. Jimmy?
First of all, I'd like to thank BVS for the opportunity. All right. Most of the topics that I wanted to cover are already mentioned. Yeah. And one thing that that needs address from my point of view is like the problem of drug and alcohol. It's a problem that has been there in our country, and it affects the youth a lot. So I'd like to point out that drug and alcohol is an issue that needs to be addressed in our country right now.
All right. Mr. Druxel, how, in your opinion, do you think youth unemployment could be addressed in this country?
Definitely just relying on the government is not an option. The civil service cannot give jobs to every youth, because our population is growing, and so the people who are going to be seeking jobs is going to increase. So there is going to be a limit at some point. So I think privatization and helping the private sector by the government, developing them so that they are at a position where they're able to provide quality jobs for youth. The other thing is there needs to be fostering of creativity, I think, in our education system, because just trying to get a white-collar job, as they say, and be in the office 9 to 5 is not going to work anymore at this time and age. So I think fostering and cultivating maybe entrepreneurial spirit among youth and kind of somehow implementing those in our education system, as we are growing our children, we help them develop those skill sets, and also kind of orienting our education system more towards developing skill sets and not necessarily just getting the academic qualifications. I think those would be, in a way, helpful in it, kind of solving the unemployment issue.
Yes, Mr. Gurle, fostering creativity, and I think Tuksal mentioned it, that you have to also promote entrepreneurial skills, and then youth may have to take blue-collar jobs as well.
Yes, sure. Because it has been like a type of culture that the growth of society depends upon the growth of employment. So if the youths are being employed, then we can say our society is developing, and moreover, our employment depends upon the growth of sector, growth of private sector, private agencies. And in this regard, I would say, yes, obviously we have to do and we have to improve the quality of our private sector. And about the creativity, I think, yes, over the years it's not important that how much you are doing, how much you are growing, but the thing, how much you are becoming more creative and more wiser. I think what you said is right. Yes, we have to do it this.
All right, Mr. Jimmy.
I would like to add something on the points that have been mentioned. And finding a job, mismatch between jobs is a concern that has been present in the country today. But I think the issue lies before, like, graduation, not after graduation, but before graduation. I mean, like, when we are in schools, when students are in school, till class 10, they are taught in the general category. But after class 10, there are 3 different streams where they can go. So I think there is there's misguidance between the students, like amongst the students, that like if you have high marks, then you go into science, and if you have like low marks, then you go into art. And I have to admit, I made the same mistake. I went for science, and it wasn't good for me. So what I think is, like, we should identify that before. We should pursue education, like, from earlier stage of our education system, like from earlier stage, according to our interests, not because we have high marks and we should become doctors or like engineers. We can be someone different. We can pursue arts, like creativity, like the panel members have already mentioned, creativity. So if you're creative, you can go into art and all. So I think exploring that sector, like after class 10, not going into science just because you have high marks is something that we need to look into, so that we can address the issue of mismatch later on. All
right, Sonam, I will come back to you in a while, but I think we have a caller from Gilifu. Mr. Dzongkha, can you hear us? Mr. Dzongkha.
Hello.
All right, you can straight away go ahead with your opinion.
Good evening, sir, and thank you for giving me the opportunity, sir. Right. Regarding this youth unemployment, and which sir is discussing at present also, I was just thinking that if we could put all those unemployed youths in private sectors, because it's just a matter of job mismatch. It's not that we don't have job in this country. We have lots of jobs, but main thing is that they are not ready to take up our job, because so many things this previous or participants has just they have highlighted, no, sir? And those are all true. But why can't we do it like this, lah? Give them unemployment payment and employ in our organization, like in contract.
All right.
And where when they can do interview in other organization if they are not happy in which in the organization which they are placed, so they can go and get interviewed, and if they get the job, then they can join there. Till they get the job there, they can stay with us by providing unemployment payment to the government.
All right, Mr. Dojo, thank you very much. You're asking for allowance for unemployed. Sonam Chudin, I think mismatch between the available job and the youth who would like to take a job is a big concern here. So, in your opinion, how could this be solved? I mean, people talk about maybe you can change the curriculums in the schools, you know, which are much in line with the jobs available in the current days, you know. So, what exactly do you think on this?
According to me, I wouldn't say like, excuse me, I wouldn't say the curriculum would actually help, because when I opted for my degree, it was computer. I took computer science, and what was told to me was it is one of the most booming course in our country, which has a big pool of jobs available. But after I was done with my degree, what I see from RCAC is among, I guess from my college, we are around 50. And plus, I'm sure there will be so many who took BCA and BSc Computer Science. Say there is around 400 at the minimum. So for the 400 students who appeared IT, we just have one vacancy. So you see that. So I don't think it's much to do about taking your courses. It's, I think, more about the requirement criteria that the respective officers or the organizations are setting. Because I don't think with 3 hours of Viva interview, 3 hours of examination, or say 30 minutes of Viva interview, you cannot show or you cannot pick out the potentials of a person. 3 hours of examination is not going to show how much I can do or how much I'll be able to do. So I think this mismatch of jobs and the intake that we have between the unemployed is because of the criterias. In some cases, I think it needs to be reconsidered. For some cases, I'm fine with it, but in some cases, I think it needs to be reconsidered.
All right. May I have Mr. Douglas in this? Some say, you know, it is not really good to have full employment in a country. Would you agree? Would you agree with this?
I think generally it's good to have some unemployment, because that gives the whole economy much more flexibility. You lose that obviously if you're at 100% employment. But I think then you get into the real question of how much unemployment is acceptable.
All right.
And I think a lot of countries feel that something like 2 or 3% is acceptable.
But considering the number of population in the country, you know, our figure says we have 2.1, you know, percentage of unemployment. So I think, is it fair enough to say that you can keep them unemployed?
I think I'd look at it differently. That's a point in time,
right.
But I'm looking more to the future. And a number of points have been made that there are large numbers of graduates coming out. The number is going to increase. And at the same time, the growth of the private sector has been almost non-existent compared to the numbers of students coming out. So I think really the focus has to be on how can the private sector develop a lot more jobs. And I think I'd really go with Mr. Druxel's point that the type of education has to change fairly dramatically to develop skills, to be able to think out of the box, to question things, and in the case of entrepreneurship especially, a willingness to take some risks. That is not so much a matter of changing the curriculum, but changing how students are taught in a way that will encourage them to develop these traits.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Duxel.
I'd like to ask you, why is it good to have some, even if it's 2% of unemployment? Is it because then if 100% what do you say, workforce is employed, then they have some sort of a leniency or maybe breed some sort of laziness because they can easily leave one job and have another job readily available? Or what would be your explanation as to why it's good to have some unemployment?
I think it's partly what you just identified, but more importantly, if an economy is to grow, it has to have flexibility. As it grows, it also changes. The needs change. So if you have no one available to meet the new needs, you won't grow, and you won't be creating more jobs over time. That's the principal reason I see.
All right, we have a caller, I guess, from Thimphu, Mr. Namge. If you can hear us, you can straight away go ahead with your comments. La.
Okay, thank you very much for the... Hello.
All right, we can hear you.
Hello.
We can hear you, Namge.
Okay. I just want to give a little bit of my view here in this discussion. I'm sure in any part of the world it is not possible to give 100% employment. And that's the case even in Bhutan. And 2.1% is a fantastic figure that we have here. But the point that I want to make here is that 2.1% that are employed in Bhutan doesn't get even a single pie in their hands. That's the big difference between the unemployment figure that we are projecting here. When you say about unemployment in the developed countries, it's maybe they accept even 5 to 6%, but then they have some benefits for the unemployed people. And if you cannot entertain this benefit even to the unemployed people here, I think the pressure comes on the parents and the relatives. And that's, I think, biggest challenge here. We never talk about these benefits, but we only talk about the figure of the unemployment.
All right. All right. Namge,
I would like to give this view to the panels, if anyone can give a little bit of support on this.
All right. Thank you, Namge. Thank you very much for your view. Any of you want to add on this, I mean, respond to this view? All right, I think we can go ahead. What about the complaints that no matter which government comes, but almost all the time governments have been complaining about youths not really willing to take up blue-collar jobs, and that's the main problem for unemployment in this country. So what do you think about that? You can, Mr. Duxel, you can begin with this.
Yeah, I think it has to do with the societal outlook towards those blue-collar jobs. Mm-hmm. There is this view that anyone who does blue-collar job or menial jobs are not so qualified or educated, or generally they're looked down. And I think dignity of labor, they say, it's very highly valued, but I've seen high officials from Bhutan in the US, flipping hamburgers and working on the street. And so it seems like they really value dignity of labor there, but that wouldn't be possible here in our country because our society and our culture doesn't enable that. Because as a culture, we're very collectivistic, and so we're really concerned about what other people say about us and what their concerns are.
Sonam, is it because of the society and the culture of Bhutan that really, don't youth, to get encouraged in taking up a blue-collar job?
I think yes, because if I talk personally, when I think of applying for a job, the first thing I think about is would it make my parents proud? That's what comes in my mind. So I don't think the society that we have right now is our parents somehow doesn't want us to do the blue-collar job. Mm-hmm. It's the society who talks. They talk, being a graduate, you're doing that job. Is that how much potential or how much capability he or she has? So we have that talking, a lot of talking going on.
All right, Jimmy, would you care about the society if you're really asked to do blue-collar job, and on top of that, you have no other options?
At first, you have to think about your parents. Since your parents have been supporting you since you were born and through the different stages of education, they have been supportive, and they don't want. I think no parents would want their kids to be working at menial jobs. But I think with changes in society right now, changes in the situation that in our country, I think we should be looking forward to having going into that kind of blue-collar jobs. And entrepreneurship is one of the areas where youth can join and have a good income. But I think the question here is the financial institutions in our country willing to take the risks on us if we are willing? That's the question that is there.
All right. I would like Mrs. Janet to comment on that, promoting entrepreneurial skills in the country. Before that, I think we have a caller from Thimphu. I'm sorry I didn't get your name, but you can straight away go ahead with your comments now.
Okay, my name is Vishwar and I'm from Padisha.
All right.
I would like to ask question to Miss Sonam Choden. Okay. Want to tell her that she looks so beautiful right now. Which makeup does she use? Oriflame.
All right. Your question?
Which makeup does she use? She looks so beautiful right now.
Right, thank you. I think she's just teasing Sonam. I guess she is a friend of Sonam. Mrs. Janet, to promote entrepreneurial, ship in this country, it takes rich financial institutions in the country. So, what do you think about it? I mean, do you think we have a lot of rich financial institutions in this country to help promote, entrepreneurship?
Well, when I think of entrepreneurship, I think of two sides of the coin, maybe with the financial institutions, three.
Sorry, I think, sorry.
Sorry.
All right, I think you can speak now.
When I think of entrepreneurship, I think of at least two sides of the coin. One is the individual. Does the individual have the motivation, the skills, the ability to take risk and the like? The other is the environment in which the individual functions. That would include the financial institutions, but it also includes essentially the policy environment for business. And I think one of the things that may make it difficult for youth to undertake entrepreneurship successfully is that if you look at the recent ratings that have been given to kind of the business friendliness environment in various countries, Bhutan still has a long way to go. I think it's something like 140 in the world. Yeah. And so we need really two things. We need individuals who are willing to take the risk and who have the skills, but I think it also is very, very enabling to have a business environment that promotes entrepreneurship. I know the government has been very concerned about the growth of the private sector, and that I think is a really good thing, but any steps that could be taken, whether it's in terms of the financial institutions being willing to take the risk on good entrepreneurial ideas, or the regulatory structure, those things would be very, very important.
Thank you very much. Do you think we have enabling financial institutions to support entrepreneurship and willing youth to take up the risk? Any of you, Sonam?
According to me, we hear a lot. The theory is there. We hear a lot that the financial institutions will help us, will support us if we become an entrepreneur. But what we heard from the entrepreneurs during our orientation program was it's just big talks. It's not really happening. I remember, I think I shouldn't name it. I remember one of the entrepreneurs clearly said that being an entrepreneur is a big risk job. It's either you will be able to do it or you will not be able to do it at all. So he took the risk. He was promised of lots of supports, lots of financial aid, but he was not provided. So I think somehow, I haven't experienced it yet, but hearing from what I have heard, I think those are theory.
Is it really true that it's just theory and then big talk,
Yeah.
You don't really get a real support?
How much truth it holds is yet to be seen.
Yeah.
I know that there is a big wise that they have support and financial, but when it comes to practical, I mean, it's very less. I think we have to go a long journey to have a very rich financial support.
All right. What about Mr. GB? Do you also share the same view on this?
Actually, I don't.
All right.
I have a different view on that. The government has taken the right step of encouraging students of encouraging people to go into the private sector, setting up your own business. And I think it's a good step. You know, we cannot be spoon-fed all the time. We have been spoon-fed from our primary education and throughout our college years. And now I think we have to take the responsibility. What I think the government is trying to do is give us a platform, give platform for good ideas to come up so that they can have a start. So, and if you start a business, it's up to you if that business works or not. And if you're hardworking, if you feel you can do it, and if the ideas are good enough, then I think that business can sustain itself.
All right. Mr. Duxel, I want you to comment on this. I mean, youth being asked to go back to farms and do farmings. But before that, I'll take a call. I think we have a caller from Gelipur. Sonam, can you hear us? La?
Yes, la.
All right, you can straight away go ahead with your concerns. La.
Yeah, actually, that blue-collar job, no, so it says that it is a low-dignity job, la. And then if the concern of the if it is the concern of unemployment, then I don't believe that the blue-collar job is a low-dignity dishonor. But basically, if somebody needs this, would say, if somebody really wants to look into a job, if youth has a concern on a job, then I feel that the blue-collar job is the only one job that has. Besides that, the blue-collar job is only one of the major jobs that can bring up the country economic up. And every unemployment youth says that now we have to serve the country. Right. But to serve a country, when the country is in an economic crisis, I believe that blue-collar job is one of the jobs that if they have a real concept to serve the country, then this blue-collar job should be there. But low dignity, it is not that major, problem. But I feel that the feelings by their parents is one of the concern that it says, low dignity. But this low dignity can be rid of if one can do any of the blue-collar job in professional way. What I mean to say is that in a third country, that blue-collar job is highly respected. But whereas in our country, it is not respected because work is not done in a professional way.
All right, thank you, Sonam, for your view. I think it takes education for parents, and then I think also for economic crisis, blue-collar job is one of your, the answers, Mr. Duxel.
So yeah, going to your question, agriculture is one of the most important sectors of our economy. So it is concerning and very alarming in a way to see all the rural-urban migration and youth leaving the farms and all of that. But it's unfair, I think, to ask youth who has gone through 15 years of education and who have had all of these dreams built up to get a high-level position to just go back to farms and work. But having said that, with the steps that the government is taking in promoting entrepreneurship, I think there are a lot of possibilities, and I would personally really love to see educated farmers and food co-ops being formed and all of that, because there are possibilities, because agriculture sector, I'm sure the government will be fully supporting, and with educated youth, if they are willing to take the risk, there are a lot of possibilities, I would say.
Okay. Gele, has something gone wrong in, making a person dream big, and not to really consider about going back to his farm and, be a farmer?
I think the intention makes it so. If I relate this answer with me, I've sold my last cow to do my graduation. It's very hard, and if I go back, there's no place for me to stand.
All right.
This is something, a concept and intention that everybody must have to know. And for me, I would say, since I am a good dog, I deserve a good bond, and I will be here and I will be waiting here, so on and so forth. I think their conception is wrong to send us back.
And I think there are many youth who have the same view like you. And let us go to the pledges that the government has made before the election. And do you really believe in that? Full employment, 100% employment in the country, Mr. Jimmy?
I would like to believe in that, but the truth, 100% employment. When I heard about it the first time, in the pledges of the government, when they were making the pledges, then I was really shocked because 100% employment no one can give. And I was just thinking, what kind of jobs are they trying to create? And I was just looking forward to seeing like maybe they want to do something different in Bhutan. And I was really not looking forward to it because I knew
that was simple because they said provided if youth are willing to take up whatever jobs.
Yes, but the thing is 100% employment means like working in the farms, like already mentioned. It's not something that we look forward to. After education, after 15, 16 years of education, you want to have a job in an office or maybe like a different kind of job, but you don't expect yourself to be sent to farms, you know. You send back to villages and asked to till the land. If you were to do that, then why study? You can not waste time and straightforward like go into agriculture and do it. And maybe you like produce more and learn more from that experience rather than being educated.
So if people talk about employment, it means comfortable office with rotating chair.
That was a tricky one. If employment, I don't think that's employment.
All right.
If you're comparing the office environment and the farm environment, I think those are two different things. If the government wanted educated farmers, if the government wanted our agriculture to be really good and have more people work towards it, I think the government should have focused more on more on agriculture. They should have, by now I think we should have already maybe big manufacturing units whereby we would be importing our vegetables, exporting our vegetables, not getting it imported from other countries. So had government done big, built big on the agriculture sector, on the agriculture side, on the farm side, then maybe Bhutanese, we the youth would be interested because what we see there is big. And as you said, is it a contradiction between dreaming big? So if it was there, I think the youth would have been attracted towards that. But I think that is not being done by government. And now they can't just expect us to get a sickle, get a spade, and dig in the farmlands. I don't think that's fair.
All right, thank you very much. I think this brings us to the towards the end of the program. But we have not really touched upon many concerns of youth like abuse of drug and alcohol and many other issues. But closing remarks on this, Duksella, how do you expect the government of the day to solve unemployment?
I believe, as we discussed earlier, I think much of the work that they can do is on regulations and policies. Creating such an environment where entrepreneurship is fostered and like really encouraged. Like I said in my initial remarks, we can't really rely on the government alone. We as youth, as Bhutanese in this 21st century in our democracy, we have to take personal responsibility as well. So I mean, go for the civil service job. If you have the marks, well and good. But if that's not the case, then definitely on the side of the government, it's on regulations, on policies, making it business friendly. And on the side of the youth, it's about initiative.
All right.
And yeah.
Thank you. 30 seconds.
30 seconds. I know the perspective says a lot.
All right.
However, I'll wait for the policies, what measures and strategies that the government are going to take, because they have said it full employment. Now I'm waiting.
Thank you. Sonam.
I would say the government to look deeper. I would tell them, I would like to request them actually, we are ready to take risks. Are you ready to take risks?
All right.
There are unspokenable powers that's lying and bestowing upon us, and sometimes the ordinary people that can do the extraordinary.
Thank you. Jimmy.
I think the government is doing its part. I think the stage has been set and people are thinking about it, and we are in the process of identifying this issue. And I think these are baby steps that has been taken. I think I'm hoping that it would solve the problems in the future.
Thank you very much. We'll take one last closing remark from the floor. Can you stand up and introduce yourself? Just.
Firstly, a very good evening to everyone here. Thank you for the opportunity. Well, it's more of an experience speaking here. It's been 3 years, almost 3 years I've graduated, and recently I've got a stable job. And then I did my BBM, and today I'm a hotelier. And that shows the mismatch between what I have done and what I'm doing today. So I just would like to tell all the youths that at some point of life you have to accept even farming, even the blue collar job if it's making you survive. So all the youths, let's not just wait the world and the government to take us how we are, but let's take the world and government how as it is. We have to change the attitude at some point of time.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I think take whatever opportunity comes in your ways, rather waiting for something else, and then you might change your decisions, as time passes. But thank you very much for watching this show, and thank you all the guest speakers and the audience. Thank you very much. Good night.